6 simple leg exercises to do at home that restore strength without damaging your joints like squats do. When the knee starts creaking while climbing stairs or it becomes necessary to grip the handrail tighter than before, that is the moment when many people realize they need help. And then the health professional recommends that daily walk, which despite being good movement, builds no muscle strength whatsoever, or even worse, tells you to do squats. For someone who spent months or years sedentary, starting with traditional squats is almost joint suicide. Each repetition compresses already worn cartilage, inflames unprepared tendons, and accelerates exactly what you are trying to avoid: knee degradation. The problem is not your age. Squats require joints that are already protected by strong muscles, and yours are not yet. That is why today you will see 6 simple and safe exercises that rebuild real strength in your legs without crushing your joints. Exercises you can do at home that will awaken all the muscles in your legs. Before we begin, please leave in the comments your name and the city where you are watching our content from. We would love to know. Exercise number 1, Tibialis raise against the wall. The tibialis anterior is that muscle located in the front of your shin that you probably never consciously trained in your life, but that is working silently with every step you take. It is responsible for lifting the front of the foot during walking, and its weakness is one of the main predictors of falls after 50 years of age, surpassing even quadriceps weakness. When this muscle weakens, something very specific happens. Your brain stops sending adequate signals to it, resulting in a kind of neuromuscular numbness. It is not just muscle weakness, but a communication failure between brain and muscle. Studies with electromyography revealed that elderly people with a history of falls present significantly lower activity in the tibialis anterior during maximum contractions. And the most interesting thing is that just 4 weeks of isometric training can significantly alter the discharge characteristics of the motor units of this muscle. The tibialis works mainly during the swing phase of gait, when you need to lift your toes to avoid tripping on the ground, and its fatigue is what transforms that firm step into a dangerous foot dragging. To execute the movement correctly, stand with your back completely supported against the wall, position your feet between 6 and 8 inches in front of your body, keeping your heels well planted on the ground. With your hips pressed against the wall and heels fixed, lift the front of both feet as much as possible, pulling your toes toward your shins. Hold for 2 seconds at the top of the contraction and lower in a controlled manner. The main errors to avoid are swaying your body or using momentum to complete the movement, as each repetition needs to be deliberate to rebuild that neural signaling your body forgot. In the first week, do 3 sets of 20 repetitions, increase to 3 sets of 30 in the second week, and in the third week, add resistance with an elastic band tied to your toes or a light weight over them, returning to 3 sets of 20 repetitions with the additional load. There are no significant contraindications for this exercise, but people with ankle injuries or recent sprains should consult a doctor before starting the training. Exercise number 2, pillow squeeze. The adductor muscles of the inner thigh are probably the most neglected of the entire lower chain, and this neglect has a high price. These muscles go from the pubic bone to the knee and play a crucial role in stabilizing the pelvis each time a foot leaves the ground during walking. Hip adductor strength is essential to prevent falls in elderly people, especially because lateral and posterolateral falls have greater potential to cause hip fractures than falls in other directions. Research demonstrates that in adults 80 years or older, hip adductor strength showed significant association with performance in clinical balance and mobility tests. When the adductors are weak, the femur rotates inward, the pelvis loses its anchor, and the overload travels to the lumbar region, hip joint, and knee. That back pain you feel is not necessarily a back problem, but an adductor failure manifesting 3 joints above. To execute lying down, lie on your side with a pillow or small ball between your knees. Keep your legs slightly bent and squeeze the pillow firmly for 5 to 10 seconds, then relax completely. You can also execute standing using a resistance band tied around your ankles and pulling your leg toward your body's midline. The main error is compensating with your torso, turning or tilting your body to generate more force, when the movement should come exclusively from the adductors. Keep your core stable and focus only on squeezing with the inner thighs. Do 3 sets of 12 to 15 repetitions with 30-second breaks between sets. People with groin injuries, pubalgia, or hip problems should seek medical guidance before starting this exercise. Before we continue, if you're over 50, take a look at this statistic. According to the WHO, between 28 and 35% of people over 65 suffer at least 1 fall each year. More than 70% of these falls happen inside the home, and today falls are the leading cause of loss of independence among older adults worldwide. Many people blame it on bad luck, But in reality, it comes down to a lack of strength, balance, mobility, and physical preparedness. That's why our team created Biological Armor, a complete protocol for people in their 50s, 60s, or 70s who want to make sure they never go through that. Inside the protocol, you'll get a special home exercise program designed to build functional strength, real balance, and reverse years of poor posture and physical neglect without damaging your joints. You'll also learn the habits scientists have identified as common among the populations with the highest life expectancy in the world, habits that less than 1% of the Western population actually practices. Access it now by clicking the pinned link in the first comment of this video, or by pointing your phone's camera at the code appearing on the screen. Exercise number 3, knee flexion. The hamstrings, or back of thigh, are fundamental for flexing the knee and stabilizing the leg during gait, and studies show that elderly people without a history of falls present greater strength in this muscle group compared to those who suffer frequent falls. The interesting thing about the hamstrings is that they do not only serve to bend the knee, but also to decelerate leg movement during walking, functioning as natural brakes. Research in elderly men with an average age of 67 years revealed that increased stiffness of the muscle tendon unit is associated with impaired mobility, and there is correlation between flexibility and eccentric strength of the hamstrings. When this muscle is weak, you lose not only strength to climb stairs, but also that ability to control leg movement, drastically increasing the risk of trips. The strength of knee flexor muscles is crucial not only for mobility, but also to prevent bilateral asymmetry, when one leg is significantly weaker than the other, increasing fall risk. To execute standing, hold lightly onto a chair or wall only to maintain balance, not to lean on. Keep one leg firm on the ground and bend the knee of the other leg, bringing the heel toward the glute in a controlled manner. Hold for 1 to 2 seconds at the top of the contraction and lower slowly, resisting gravity. The main errors to avoid are arching your back or leaning your torso forward trying to compensate for lack of strength, when the correct form is to maintain your body completely upright during the entire movement. Another common error is swinging your leg up using momentum instead of consciously contracting the back of the thigh. Do 3 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions per leg, with 30 seconds of rest between sets. People with knee pain, hamstring injuries, or tendinitis in the posterior thigh region should avoid this exercise without adequate medical supervision. Now that you have already seen 3 exercises focused on specific muscles, let us move to complete chain movements that integrate everything. Exercise number 4, step up with knee elevation. The step up with knee elevation is the first exercise on this list that forces absolutely all the muscles in your legs to work simultaneously. Tibialis anterior, soleus, quadriceps, vastus medialis oblique, adductors, gluteus maximus, and gluteus medius. It is a complete chain exercise that develops not only strength, but neuromuscular coordination, because isolated isometric strength is completely useless if the muscles cannot sequence together in a real movement. Studies on progressive step marching exercises in elderly people with an average age of 69 to 70 years demonstrated significant improvements in balance, lower limb muscle strength, and aerobic capacity after 8 weeks. Research on home strength and balance programs revealed that elderly people over 80 years who performed strength and balance exercises had a fall risk reduction from 44.3% to 25.4% in 12 months. To execute correctly, use a sturdy chair, low bench or step that places your thigh approximately parallel to the floor when you plant your foot on top. Plant your right foot completely on the surface, ensuring that both heel and sole are firm, and without pushing off the ground with your left foot, propel your entire body upward using only the strength of your right leg. When reaching the top, elevate your left knee until it is parallel to the floor. Pause for 1 second balanced only on your right leg, then lower your left foot slowly under complete control. The main error, and one that completely transforms this exercise, is pushing with the bottom foot to help go up, transforming the step up into an assisted jump. The top leg must do 100% of the lifting work. Another error is going up too fast, losing all muscle tension and transforming the exercise into a ballistic movement without control. If you do not have good balance, start with a lower step to reduce fall risk at the beginning, and keep just one finger touching the wall lightly as reference, not as a support crutch. Do 3 sets of 10 repetitions per leg in the first week, increase to 3 sets of 12 repetitions with a 2-second pause at the top in the second week, and in the third add weight by holding a kettlebell or loaded backpack against your chest, returning to 3 sets of 10 repetitions. People with severe knee instability, ligament injuries, or hip problems should consult a physical therapist before starting. Before we continue, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell. Having constant access to science-based information is what will make you progress healthily long-term in the world of exercise. Exercise number 5, wall squat. The wall sit or wall squat is an isometric exercise that builds quadriceps strength and specifically activates the vastus medialis oblique, that teardrop-shaped muscle above the inner kneecap that keeps the patella correctly aligned during any knee movement. Studies with more than 1,000 elderly people demonstrated that quadriceps weakness drastically increases fall risk, with individuals presenting quadriceps muscle strength less than 33 pounds having 3 times greater fall risk compared to those with strength above 66 pounds. Research on wall squat exercises with different ankle angles revealed that specific variations can increase vastus medialis oblique activity by approximately 10.4%. A study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine analyzing 270 trials discovered that isometric exercises like wall sits were more effective than other types of exercise for reducing blood pressure. After 50 years of age, a weak vastus medialis oblique is the main reason for creaky and unstable knees, and the wall sit solves this by building strength without joint movement, meaning zero wear and zero impact on cartilage. To execute correctly, stand with your back completely against the wall. Position your feet about 2 foot lengths in front of your body, shoulder width apart. Lower by sliding down the wall until your thighs are parallel to the floor, with knees stacked directly over ankles, never allowing them to extend beyond the line of your toes. Press your lumbar region firmly against the wall, keep weight concentrated on your heels, and push your knees slightly outward, which specifically activates the vastus medialis oblique. The main errors to avoid are letting your knees advance beyond your toes, which transfers all load to the patellofemoral joint, and taking your lumbar region off the wall, which reduces tension in the quadriceps and transfers load to the spine. Another common error is holding your breath during contraction, when the correct form is to maintain continuous and controlled breathing. Do 3 sets of 20 seconds in the first week, increase to 3 sets of 40 seconds in the second week, and reach 3 sets of 60 seconds in the third week. For advanced progression, hold a weight against your chest or squeeze a ball between your knees to increase adductor recruitment. People with severe knee pain should start at a higher angle, about 45 degrees, or consult a doctor before starting. Exercise number 6, glute bridge with elevated feet. The glute bridge with elevated feet is a powerful exercise to simultaneously strengthen the glutes, both maximus and medius, the hamstrings and core stabilizer muscles, all essential for keeping the pelvis stable and preventing falls. This exercise works the entire posterior chain of the body, that region that goes from the calf to the lumbar, and tends to weaken significantly with sedentary age, compromising posture, balance, and the basic ability to climb stairs or get up from chairs without using your arms. Strong glutes are fundamental for absorbing impact when walking, protecting the lumbar region from overload and maintaining healthy hips, preventing compensations that inevitably overload knees and spine. The gluteus maximus is the largest muscle in the human body, and keeping it active has profound effect not only on strength, but also on metabolism, since large and active muscles significantly increase daily caloric expenditure. To execute correctly, lie on your back on the floor with your arms beside your body. Place both feet on a step, low bench, or firm cushion, with height between 4 and 8 inches, keeping your knees bent and feet apart at hip width. Press your heels firmly on the elevated surface and lift your hips off the floor until forming a completely straight line from knees to shoulders, contracting your glutes with maximum intensity at the top for 2 to 3 seconds. Lower in a controlled manner, resisting gravity but without letting your hips touch the floor completely between repetitions, maintaining constant tension in the muscles. The main errors to avoid are arching your lumbar region too much at the top of the movement, when the elevation should come exclusively from glute contraction and not from spine hyperextension, and letting your knees fall inward, which deactivates the glutes and transfers tension to the adductors inappropriately. Another common error is going up too fast using momentum and lowering by letting your body fall, completely losing the eccentric phase that represents a large part of the growth stimulus. Do 3 sets of 12 to 15 repetitions with 30 to 45 seconds of rest between them, and for progression, increase the maximum contraction time at the top to up to 5 seconds, or execute the unilateral version, elevating only 1 foot and keeping the other suspended in the air. People with disc herniation, disc protrusion, or acute lumbar pain should seek medical guidance before executing this movement. And now that you already know the 6 fundamental exercises, I will show you a bonus exercise that perfectly complements everything we have seen. Bonus exercise, seated calf raise. The seated calf raise specifically trains the soleus, that deep calf muscle that lies under the gastrocnemius and is responsible for an impressive 80% of the work when walking, climbing stairs, or simply standing for long periods. When the soleus weakens, your propulsion when walking gradually decreases and the gait pattern slowly collapses into foot dragging, drastically increasing the risk of trips and falls. The calf is often called the second heart of the body because it helps pump blood back to the heart against gravity, and the soleus plays an essential role in this venous return function. The key to specifically targeting the soleus is to keep the knee bent during execution, because calf raises standing with extended leg mainly activate the gastrocnemius, but with the knee flexed at 90 degrees, the soleus is forced to assume most of the work. This muscle is fundamental for that spring in your step that most men lose around 55 years of age without even realizing it is happening. To execute correctly, sit on a sturdy chair or bench with your feet completely supported on the floor, knees bent at 90 degrees and back straight without curving. Plant your soles firmly and, if possible, place them on a thick book or small block to allow your heels to drop slightly below toe level, increasing range of motion. Press through your soles and lift your heels as high as possible. Squeeze with maximum force at the top for 2 seconds, then lower very slowly, taking about 3 seconds to complete the descent. The slower the eccentric phase, the deeper the soleus activation, and the greater the growth stimulus. The main errors to avoid are using momentum or swaying your body to help go up, when the movement should be purely muscular, and lowering too fast, completely wasting the eccentric phase, which is where much of the hypertrophy happens. Another error is not exploring the full range, stopping in the middle of the movement instead of going up to the absolute top and lowering to maximum stretch. Do 3 sets of 25 repetitions using only body weight in the first week, increase to 3 sets of 40 repetitions with greater range of motion in the second week, and in the third add weight by placing a kettlebell, heavy book, or loaded backpack on your thighs, returning to 3 sets of 25 repetitions with the additional load. You can also progress by increasing time under tension, holding for 5 seconds at the top and taking 5 seconds to lower. There are no significant contraindications for this exercise, but people with Achilles tendon injuries, tendinitis in the heel region, or plantar fasciitis should have special caution and start with reduced range of motion. If you want to check out the best regenerative exercises practiced by the Japanese to heal years of bad posture, we left a video appearing right now on the screen showing each one of them better. Take a look there, and do not forget to also check our biological shielding protocol. Thank you for watching until here, and may God bless you, my friend.